His head and hair were white like wool. His head and hair were white like wool. We need to understand that all of these are symbols that Yahweh pretty much made a picture of for John to see and relate to us in order for us to understand deeper things. One thing, for instance, having hair like wool is a characteristic of black people. I mean that the likeness of their hair, and that is why many people take this verse to say that Messiah was black. Like I have said, Messiah had dark skin, no doubt. Yet, as I am saying, here John is not seeing the Messiah that he saw. He is seeing actually the first and last as one. He sees what the first and last, once they manifest and fulfill everything and become one, what he will look like after the last manifests and dies. I want to make that clear. Now, for other reasons, I don't doubt that Mashiach had hair like wool also. I'm just saying that when it comes to this verse, to this context, John is seeing the first and last as one. That's why he has said, I am the first and the last many times already. He has not said, I am the first, for John would have said, it was Yahushua, I saw him. And he has not said, I am the last, for then the things said by Yahushua would not be written here. My point is, this is Yahweh manifesting as first and last being one. So some things are connected to the first, some things are connected to the last. All are connected to Yahweh. White like wool, like a sheep. White spiritually represents purity. Also, like when a person is very old, their hair turns white. And not only Yahweh is called the Ancient of Days, but also Messiah nowadays is about 2020 something years old. But the main point is that it is like a sheep that was sent to be sacrificed, as we see in Isaiah 53, that he came as a lamb and a sheep, first and last. Wool, white in purity, to bring purity. His head and hair were white like wool. And just in case, if anybody wanted to make the like continue with that, with seeing this verse as something that has to do with physical and the flesh, it's interesting that it says his head and hair. So not only was his hair white, but also his head. Obviously, one can say you look at the head, you look at the hair, which is above the head. But the fact that he mentions the head is interesting. The point is that it is not talking about race. It's talking about purity. It's talking about the head being pure, him as the leader, connected to the Most High, who is set apart. His head and hair were white like wool, as white as snow. The Almighty tells us that even if our sins were red, he will turn them white as snow. So once again, we see that representing purity. And his eyes like a flame of fire. The eyes are the windows to the soul. So through the eyes you can see the soul. Therefore, we see that the first and last that is being presented here has as his soul the consuming fire. That's why you can see the fire through his eyes. His eyes like a flame of fire.